Hi, beautiful soul. If you are someone who believes that they can't settle their mind is always moving, or they've tried to meditate and they can't get still, or they can't sleep at night because their thoughts keep them awake, this recording is for you. My name is Rad, and I actually am a retired divorce lawyer who was in the field of conflict resolution for over 20 years. I teach this because I really believe that when we learn to actually operate our system, our minds, our hearts, our energy, we can actually create so much more change in our relationships, in our families, with our children, in our homes, and inside of us, the thing that we think we're looking for, love, peace, clarity, calm, all of that can be cultivated when we do the work here, which is why I do this work now in this new chapter of my life. And I was always sharing these tools unofficially with clients, even when I was practicing law, which is actually how the transition started to happen. I had this one client of mine. We were chatting after she attended a week-long meditation retreat. And kudos for her for going. She felt a very strong pull. Overall, she had a fantastic experience. When we spoke at the end of the retreat, I asked her what her biggest takeaway was. And she said to me, of all the things, I didn't realize how distracted I was. And to me, having started meditating in my early 20s, I think that's such a huge revelation to be able to realize like I can't meditate because my mind moves too fast. Because here's the thing, here's the big kahuna. When you sit down and get quiet, or when you try to go to sleep and your mind's doing crazy monkey chatter, that is a reflection of how your mind was operating all day long. In fact, your mind may have been even more activated and in a higher brainwave state during the day because you were doing stuff, you were trying to process information, you were at work, you were picking up the kids, you were doing life. When you sit down with the intention to meditate, in theory, you have started to slow things down. So if you're finding that you're distracted or full of thoughts or things are spiraling and you can't settle your mind, there's two things I want to share with you. A, that's a reflection of how your mind operates most of the time, if not all the time. So it's a really important and powerful insight to have. And two, once you get to the point of being aware of that, you, in my opinion, you're 80% there. 80% to being able to master your own energy, your own mind, your own heart. Because before that, you had zero awareness of what was going on inside. So think about that. Most of us, and I remember a phase in my life for sure, where we're just going about our day. We don't even know that there's a voice in our head. We're not even aware of it. Or if we are, we're not really in tune with it. We're not conscious of it on a regular basis. So I would say to you what I would say to this beautiful human who shared with me that she felt distracted. That is gold. That information is so useful. And I would take that not as a sign that you are not destined to be a great meditator or that you're never going to be able to get your thoughts in check. Surely you want to sleep again properly. I would take that as a sign that you are on your way and you have a very huge critical piece of information that is going to get you closer to where you want to go, which I imagine is feeling that inner peace, being able to fall asleep quickly, being able to focus at work, being able to have clarity about your next steps on a project or a purpose or a relationship or a challenge that you're having, health stuff. There is so much clarity. There is so much intuition, inner guidance to tap into once you just learn how to quiet your mind. And here's the thing, it is so much easier than we make it out to be. It just takes time and practice. It's exactly like going to the gym, which, by the way, this week, they're not there yet, but I recently started getting back to weightlifting. I hadn't done it since in my 20s. But it's the exact same thing, right? You don't say, oh, I can't lift 100 pounds because you can't do it today and then leave the gym. You say, okay, what can I do today to work my way up to this goal? And what I truly believe, just like a workout actually, is that there is no bad meditation. There is no bad mindfulness practice. It is all about getting started and building the muscle. So I was at the gym with this personal trainer who was giving me a tour of the gym, probably to make sure I didn't injure myself. Her name was Joy, of course. And we started to do the leg presses, and she started me at 60, and it kind of felt a little bit heavy. And she said, "Oh, this is light. Like, okay, we can lessen it. It's no problem." She was very sweet. She was very non-judgmental. She said, "Ideally, we want to get you lifting your body weight," which that I won't be able to share with you. But so she brought it back down to 40. We were comfortable there. We did the thing. I did have a medical issue in the last year, so I wanted to be healthy and cautious. And that's exactly how I would say to people to start with the meditation practice. There is no tool more powerful. It will trickle not only into your life, but into all your relationships. Start with 5 minutes, start with 10 minutes. Ideally, what I tell my clients when they're starting out, if they want a real number, is 20 minutes. And what I say to them is even if you break it up and do 5, 5, 10, or you do 10 in the morning and 10 before you go to bed, there are different meditations that you might want to do at night versus day, or you could do the same. There are some really good night ones, like Yoga Nidra is known to help with sleep. So I would recommend that if somebody had trouble sleeping. But just start slow and start to build your way up. And you might wrap and say, my practice is 30 minutes a day. When I was at my peak, I was meditating an hour, hour and a half a day. Never in a million years thought I would have time for that. I was a working lawyer with my own practice and 2 little children and running a whole household. But, it's amazing what will motivate you when you start to see results. Probably like, hopefully, what I will start to see at the gym. So if you are someone who thinks, I can't do this because my mind is moving too much, you're actually the perfect candidate for it. And you're actually closer to where you want to get than you think. And if you would love some more resources on this, please check the description box below, because I have over time created a bunch of resources to help you with deepening into this practice, depending on where you're at, what you need, what you desire, and what you feel called to. So please also feel free to comment below, ask questions, reach out to me. This is my jam, the divorce lawyer who left to teach inner peace. But I really truly believe that when we cultivate peace inside, when we start to master this in here, we start to see mind-blowing results in our relationships. I teach a course called Conscious Co-Parenting, where my entire belief about all this work was magnified tenfold because of the results people started to get in 4 to 6 weeks. People going from panic attacks about just thinking about their ex and getting a text from them to being able to have compassion, non-judgment, and even eventually being able to throw birthday parties together for their children. I think relationships are such a huge part of our lives, obviously, and I think there's a better way to resolve them. Sometimes you do have to end a relationship, but my point is, when you start to work on this, you will see that the conflict actually starts to dissolve. There's so many things, there's so many benefits for you to be able to enter into this practice. Do not let your distracted mind be the barrier. Do not let the fact that you have all these thoughts floating in your mind be any kind of barrier. You are ahead of the game. You are now aware of what's going on inside. And now we're going to take steps to start to shift it. Thank you for being here today. I'll see you again next time.